So what is up, guys? Suda the Savage back, and firstly, I want you to spell a word for me. Spell inconsistent. You want the definition? The New Orleans Saints, a week after we upset one of the top-seeded teams in the NFL in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we follow up with a massive 27-25 loss to the Atlanta Falcons. This game was just brutal. You know, the Saints, we were down 18 in the fourth quarter, erase that deficit, and then blow it on the final drive. So we're going to get into a general recap of the game, individual player stats, and then final grade. So without further ado, let's get this video started. So starting out with a general recap of the game. So the Saints won the coin toss, we elect to defer, and the Falcons have the very first drive. Now, fun fact about both these teams, neither of these teams have scored a touchdown on their opening drive. So Falcons on their first drive, after 6 plays, they punt. And what do you think I'm going to say about the Saints? Do we follow up with anything? We did not. That's 7 plays, and we end up punting. Falcons, they drive down the field, and with a 4th and 4, Saints 14, Younghoe Koo kicks the 32-yard field goal. So Saints, we go on a very long drive down the field, but we were forced to punt after we got to like a 2nd and 30, which we shortened to like a 4th and 27. So yeah, that was kind of the theme for this game. The Falcons, they go 3 and out, and then the Saints, we drive down the field. We get to a 4th and 3 at the Atlanta 36, and we choose to go for it. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe take a field goal, but, let's go for it if it's good. And Trevor Simeon throws a pass right to Adam Trautman, wide open, had it in his hands, and he dropped it. Like, a common theme for this game was that receivers were dropping passes from the left into the right. And it was just so frustrating because Trevor Simeon, people are blasting him on social media, but when you actually watched the game, this was not his fault. Anyways, continuing it on, Falcons, they get to a 4th and 1 at their own 45, and they choose to go for it. They try to run up the middle with Mike Davis, but we just eat him alive. Then the Saints, we go 3 and out. Then the Falcons go on a 5-minute drive, 15 plays, and end it with a touchdown to Olamide Zaccheaus. And then the Saints, we knee out the ball, and we go into the second half down 10-0. All right, so to start the second half, Saints get the ball. We go on a very long drive down the field, but we have to settle for a 35-yard field goal by Brian Johnson. Not the way I would have wanted to start it. I wanted to start with a touchdown, but at that point, I'm just thinking, look, we haven't scored it all in the first half. I'll take the points we can get and just move on with it. And then the Falcons immediately drive down the field and get another touchdown. Actually, no, they get another touchdown. It was a rushing touchdown by Matt Ryan. Common trends that I saw with this game was that the Falcons were so good at throwing sideline passes, maybe 20 and 30 yards, the receiver catching it, and then getting maybe another 20 yards from yards after catch. That was a common trend, and that happened on this drive, which led to the Matt Ryan 1-yard rushing touchdown. And now we're down 17-3. Saints, we go down the field, and then we get to the start of the fourth quarter, and Brian Johnson kicks a nice 52-yard field goal, down 17-6. And I'm just thinking, okay, let's just get a stop and come next drive and just, get a touchdown. We do get the stop, but on our very next drive, Trevor Simeon gets strip sacked, and the Falcons basically take it all the way to, when they recover it, it's basically on the New Orleans 6, and and then Matt Ryan finds Olamide Zaccheaus for another touchdown, and now the score is 24-6, 18-point lead. I'm thinking, okay, the only way we win this is if the Falcons pull a Falcons. Well, here's how that went. Saints, very first drive. After that, Trevor Simeon finds Marquez Callaway in for a 5-yard touchdown after a quick drive. Falcons go 3 and out, so I'm starting to think, okay, maybe I could have some hope. Another quick drive, we get to a 2nd and 2 at the Atlanta 2, and Alvin Kamara runs in for the touchdown. I'm thinking we ended up missing the 2-point conversion. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe there's a chance. And we force another 3 and out. And at this point, my number one thought is run out the clock as much as possible and score the touchdown. We did score a touchdown. It was a 2nd and 7. It was a passing touchdown to Kenny Stills. He caught it on the 2-yard line. Gets pushed out of bounds, but is able to break the plane for the touchdown. We take the lead, but we fail the 2-point conversion. We tried a run up the middle with Alvin Kamara, and it just didn't work out. So here's what I'm thinking. We left them a minute on the clock, and I'm thinking if the Falcons get into field goal range, they're going to win the game because it's Younghoe Koo, one of the best kickers in the game. He's not going to miss. And on the very first play, Matt Ryan, 28-yard pass to Cordarrelle Patterson. He burns Paulson Adebo, catches it, and then gets 36 yards after the catch. It was a 64-yard play that took them to the New Orleans 11. Like I said, if they'd gone to field goal range, Younghoe Koo would kick the game winner. Then on the very next play, Mike Davis runs up the middle, and he actually fumbled the ball, but the Falcons end up recovering it. Then Matt Ryan kneels, and then Younghoe Koo comes out, chip shots the 29-yard field goal. Falcons win 27-25. On to individual player stats. All right, so on to individual player stats. Starting off with Trevor Simeon, it was definitely a bit of a shock that we chose to start him over Taysom Hill in this game. But with how he did against the Buccaneers, I thought, yeah, why not? Give him a shot. Give him another chance. And he was 25 for 41, 249 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. This game was not his fault. If you want to blame someone, blame that receiving core and blame that defense. So many drop passes. Trevor Simeon did everything he could to keep us in this game. He brought us back, and then we blew it on the final drive. So many drop passes. The one that hurts the most is the Adam Trautman dropped 4th down conversion. That one hurts the most. Taysom Hill, he had 2 passes which he completed for 33 yards. We didn't make him go deep with any of these. We didn't say all right, go as deep as possible. So I was happy with that. Anyways, lead rusher was Alvin Kamara with 50 rushing yards and a touchdown, followed by Mark Ingram with 43 yards, then Alex Arma, 12 yards, and then Taysom Hill had 1 carry for 4 yards. So, not a bad day on the rushing, but, we didn't really get to expose more of a rushing attack since we were having to play catch-up most of the game. Lead receiver was Alvin Kamara, 4 receptions, 54 yards. We definitely kind of played a little bit more this game, kind of like how Drew Brees played last year with just checkdowns. Traquan Smith, 3 catches for 53 yards. Deontay Harris, 6 catches for 52 yards. Adam Trautman, 4 receptions, 47 yards. Kenny Stills, 2 receptions, 30 yards, and a touchdown. Then Marquez Callaway, 3 receptions, 25 yards, and a touchdown. And then finally Mark Ingram, 5 receptions, 21 yards. And that was it. Now, back to Trevor Simeon. When I said none of this was his fault, the only thing I will blame him for is the strip sack, although Taron Armstead just completely missed on the block. But so many drop passes by this wide receiver core. This wide receiver core is nothing without Michael Thomas. I've said this once and I'll say it again. I love Traquan Smith, Marquez Callaway, Deontay Harris. They are way too inconsistent. None of them have shown that they can be a number 1 receiver. They show flashes, but they're not consistent with it. And with OBJ as a free agent, I don't know if I want the Saints to take a chance on him, but I feel like if we want to go for the playoffs, we need to take a chance on Odell Beckham Jr. I think he'd be a great addition to the wide receiver core. Hopefully he's not as much of a problem in the locker room as he was in Cleveland, which is something that sent him out the door. And Cleveland already won their first game without Odell Beckham Jr., so was he the problem? Who knows? What happens from weeks to come, we'll decide that. The defense was not good today. First half, it was actually pretty strong. We only allowed 10 points. Second half was not as good, and we just collapsed on the final drive. The front 7, they did a really good job stuffing the Falcons only to 43 rushing yards, but they knew that if you're going to beat the Saints, you beat them in the air and not on the ground, and they did just that. So the secondary was not good this game. Just from all the sideline scorches, that was the main thing that cost us today. And on to the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan, a whole lot of respect for you, man. You had an excellent game. 343 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Your lead rusher was Mike Davis with 13 yards, followed by Cordarrelle Patterson with 10. Matt Ryan, he had 8 and a touchdown, and then Philippe Franks with 3 yards. So, like I said, you knew that if you were going to beat the Saints, you beat them in the air and not the ground. And Cordarrelle Patterson was your lead receiver, 6 receptions, 126 yards, and the dagger, basically. And his reception was just a complete dagger to us. Followed up with Russell Gage, 7 receptions, 64 yards. And then Kyle Pitts, 3 receptions, 62 yards. And then Olamide Zaccheaus, 3 receptions, 58 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Hayden Hurst, 2 receptions, 16 yards. Tajee Sharp, 1 reception, 12 yards. And then Mike Davis, 1 reception, 5 yards. And the defense for you guys played well for 3 quarters. Your defense did well for the first 3 quarters, but you almost Falconed the game away. Once you went up 24-6, according to ESPN, you had a 98.5% chance to win, and you blew it, but were able to recover on the final drive. It was just like the game against the Dolphins, where you were basically guaranteed a victory, blew it, but made up for it with a game-winning field goal by Younghoe Koo. That's all I'm going to say. Honestly, the way I see it as a Saints fan, we did not deserve to win this game. Even if we did not deserve it. With how bad we were in the first three quarters, it should have been an easier victory for the Atlanta Falcons. I think a better team would have finished this off a lot quicker. And about the Saints, this season has just been so inconsistent. Starting out with week 1 against the Packers, excellent victory, and then we played like crap next week against the Carolina Panthers. Come out strong against the Patriots, and then fall flat against the New York Giants. Then we go to the football team, we come out strong with a victory. Against the Seahawks, we were really weak, but somehow pulled out a victory. Strong game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then pulled this off against the Atlanta Falcons. We need some consistency in this team. This is just so frustrating now. Like I said before, I'm not blaming any of this on Trevor Simeon outside of the strip sack. The receiving core needs to pick it up, and the secondary also needs to get it all together. Excuse me. And then next week, we're going up against the Tennessee Titans, and they're one of the hottest teams in football right now. They shut down the LA Rams last week, so it was impressive to see, but, Saints, we got to win next week. But according to the schedule, we're going to be super strong next week. Anyways, I'm going to give a final grade. Saints offense, I'm going to give a 3 out of 10. Yes, we played strong in the third quarter, nearly won the game, but the first 3 quarters weigh it down heavily. And then the defense, I'm going to give them a 5 out of 10. Actually, I'll give it a 6 out of 10 because, yes, we tried to keep the Falcons down for as long as possible. Yes, we got scorched on the sidelines. Yes, we did force multiple 3-and-outs when we were making our comeback, but that final drive just completely stains it. And then the Falcons offense, I'm going to give their offense a 5 out of 10 and their defense a 6.5 out of 10 because the defense, shut us down for 3 quarters, but then collapsed the fourth quarter. It just hurts, but, we got to go into next week and just come out strong. All right, so for a final grade for both teams, I'm going to give the New Orleans Saints a 4.5 out of 10 for today's game. It was sloppy. Yes, we made a strong comeback, but we still did not deserve to win the game. And the Falcons, I'm going to give them a 5.5 out of 10. Once again, they came out strong in the first 3 quarters, nearly blew it, but still came out with a victory. On to the outro. And that is going to wrap up my video for today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you want to see all my other weekly predictions and Saints recaps, links to all that will be in the description below. If you want to see Week 8 predictions, click right over here. Click the like button. Subscribe my channel if you haven't already by clicking over here or the box down below. Comment down what your thoughts were on this game. Did your team win? I'm not sure because this week was just upsets galore. Make sure to follow me on all my social medias, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok at Brennan Suter. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Who Dat Nation, looking to rebound next week is